Bitcoin is now up over 200% if you bought it January 1st of 2023. Bitcoin continues to be one of the best investments you can make in any portfolio of all time. I honestly think that over the next handful of years, especially now that there is a Bitcoin spot ETF available on the market, that more millionaires and more billionaires in the United States and around the world are going to start to allocate anywhere from 0.5% to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5% of their entire investment portfolio into Bitcoin as a hedge. As you start to see more and more of this demand, as we start to see the Bitcoin halvings take place where block production is cut in half and fewer Bitcoins are entering the market, there is going to be a crunch in the supply of Bitcoin and the price is going to go absolutely through the roof. This is the prediction that a lot of analysts and different market movers and makers are talking about over the next couple years, where they're saying a Bitcoin could potentially go to above 6 figures per Bitcoin. Now, if this happens and, millionaires and billionaires start to allocate small percentages of their portfolio into Bitcoin itself, and Bitcoin breaks into price discovery mode and goes past its all-time high, and we see a 6-figure Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen to all of the coins underneath it as the entire asset class explodes as well? Now, that is the million-dollar question, because although Bitcoin is, slated to potentially make a 2, 3, 4, even 5x from its current price at $50,000, we could see altcoins and different coins underneath Bitcoin with smaller market caps pull 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 X's over the next couple years. That's what everyone wants to know, which coins to buy and when and how. And in this video today, I'm going to discuss my portfolio and how I'm setting myself up to potentially take advantage of this historic bull run that is hopefully going to take place over the next year or two. So in this video today, I'm going to give you guys a breakdown of the different coins I'm currently putting in my investment portfolio, how much and why. Now, I just want to remind you guys, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. But for me personally, it is more worth it to be in this market, making different conviction investment plays into different cryptocurrencies that I think have great teams, great tokenomics, and really great narratives and reasons for them to break into their all-time highs and print me a ton of money. A 20, 30, 40, 50% drawback in cryptocurrency prices if the world implodes and everything goes to crap is well worth it to me for the potential upside that we could see with the Bitcoin halving, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the presidential election, and all the different other bullish catalysts we are going to see over the next couple years. For me, that is plenty of reason to be in the market and not out of the market. And in this video today, let's discuss the coins in which I'm going to be putting my money and bets into. Now, besides these different coins that I'm going to talk about in today's video, I also want to talk about my private Discord, which is going to be locked at 100 members. And we only have about 15 spots left. And so in today's video, I'm going to open up another 3 spots for you guys to check out in the description below. Now, this Discord group is a super small exclusive group of people who get access to as many high quality opportunities as I can possibly provide them. Some of these opportunities range from different trades that they can take, as well as pre-sale opportunities into different angel investment rounds to brand new upcoming tokens launching within the next 6 to 12 months. As a member, you'll also get access to a bunch of different whitelist NFT raffles for you guys to take advantage of as well. So between, 3 of those main opportunities, as well as a great group of people who are willing to answer questions and just chat investments and cryptocurrency, I do think my group is one of the best in the space and gets access to some of the best opportunities in the space as well. Would highly recommend checking it out in the description below, where you can sign up right now. Very limited spots. I will be capping it throughout this entire bull run at 100 members. So I would take advantage of that opportunity right now in the description below. All right, so first up, we're going to have the biggest position in my entire portfolio, and that is going to be Ethereum. Now, this could potentially change, but for now, this is my current biggest position, coming in around 25% of my entire portfolio. Now, the reason I like Ethereum and want that to be my biggest position over Bitcoin is in fact because its market cap is just lower and it has potential for more gains over the next couple years. Right now, as an investor, I'm pretty risk on and I'm looking to take advantage over these next couple years more than just play it safe. So a couple things I really like about Ethereum in the short term to medium term is going to be the discussion around a Ethereum spot spot ETF now that we've seen the Bitcoin spot ETF get approved over the last couple months. And so whether Ethereum ETF gets approved or not isn't particularly relevant to me because I'm more interested in the price action leading up to that announcement itself. During the time it took for the spot Bitcoin ETF to get approved, Bitcoin went from $20,000 per Bitcoin to over $40,000 per Bitcoin. So that is what I'm trying to capture with my Ethereum bet and conviction here. That is going to be the pre-announcement speculation lead up to the potential spot Ethereum ETF sometime hopefully this year or next. So if it gets approved, great. That's fantastic. Most likely Ethereum's price will continue to go upwards. If it doesn't get approved during that time where the SEC is delaying the decision and people are starting to talk about it more and more and more, I do think Ethereum's price action is going to continue to trend upwards. I also have a decent chunk of my portfolio in lower cap coins, under Ethereum, more traditional altcoins. And so I do think having a larger chunk of my portfolio in a less risky asset, all cryptocurrency is very risky, but the higher the market cap gets, the less risky it gets. I do think it's also a bit of a hedge in terms of risk overall as well. All right, so the next coin I'm going to have in my portfolio, which is probably going to take up anywhere from 3 to 5% of my entire cryptocurrency token portfolio, is going to be Beam. And I like this coin for several reasons, and we will discuss them right now. So for me, I think a $1.4 billion evaluation for Beam in terms of overall cryptocurrency evaluations is relatively low for what the project offers. I think it has huge backers, a great narrative being in the gaming space, as well as a massive treasury. So let's take a look at the treasury right now. And as you can see, they currently have a huge treasury of about $110 million in total. They have $40 million of cash in their treasury, which gives them multiple years of product development runway. So for me, 33% of their treasury in cash is incredibly bullish and allows them to, even if we get struck with a bear market, continue to do cool things. So for me, that is reason enough to get into Beam. But as we continue down here, you'll see that they have almost 20% of the treasury in liquid crypto assets. And this just so happens to be up 200%. Basically how Beam works is it kind of acts like a bit of an ETF. And what I mean by that is if you're buying Beam, the token itself, you're actually also getting proxy bets and proxy investment exposure into all these different liquid crypto assets that they have in their treasury. And as you can see here, they have, a ton of exposure into quite a few projects you might even recognize. PancakeSwap, Shrapnel being a big Web3 game. I really like this idea of me being able to buy a token and get access to a bunch of these different proxy bets that they've made with some of their treasury funds. And as you can see, they're up 200% on their portfolio. So far, they've done really well for themselves in terms of their liquid crypto assets that they have invested into, which is bullish for the Beam token price overall, which is probably why we have seen over the past 7 days, the price go from 0.017 to almost 0.03. And then they also have $3 million of NFTs investments, which is up 45%, and $52 million in venture investments, which is up about 10%. So, big names, Immutable X, Planet Mojo, which I talked about recently in a recent video. So overall, I really like what they're doing with their treasury. I really like how Beam itself has great tokenomics. And so there's not going to be a lot of selling pressure for the Beam token over the next few years as well, which means, leading up to this next bull run, we're not going to have giant VCs, giant people and whales dumping their tokens on us as the price runs up. That's just going to give it more room to breathe and could potentially lead to a higher ceiling overall. So my prediction for Beam, is a multi-billion dollar market cap. We could see 5, 10, $15 billion market cap for Beam. And that would be huge. That would be 5, 10, 15, 20x for a lot of people, even more if you got in earlier. Take all of that into account with their massive treasury. And for me, the Beam token is a no-brainer in anyone's portfolio if you're investing into crypto. All right, so the next token that is going to be a part of my portfolio, which is going to take up anywhere from 3 to 5% of my overall portfolio, and that is going to be Super, or the Superverse. Now, they're trying to turn Super into the Web3 gaming coin. So if you're a Web3 game, or you're a Web3 studio, or you're a Web3 infrastructure or product, you'll have some connection to Super in some way. That is the goal. Super has large partnerships with Immutable X and has huge investors and advisors and backers like Alex Becker, and the founder is Ellio Trades. So for me, more than enough reason to get into Super, but as you can see over the past 7 days, and then the last coin which I wanted to touch on, which would be Playable Games, and right now I'm actually a little bit down on this investment because I didn't get in super early. It's at around a $37 million market cap, so it's by far the lowest market cap coin I currently hold, but for me, it's a Web3 gaming studio infrastructure play that I do think has huge legs to run. And so my average for this coin, I believe, is around 0.006. And so I'm down, maybe 10% or so on my investment. But for me, this is definitely a hold. It's currently making up around 2% of my overall portfolio. And I'm just going to sit on this bag and wait for it to go to multiple hundreds of $1 million market caps, just because I personally believe that it could get there. All right, so let's look at the overall market probability of interest rate cuts in the near future. So as we can see here, the market is currently predicting another pause for next month, our potential first rate cut in 3 months from now. So right now, the market is kind of split on whether the Feds will start cutting rates midway through this year. And to be honest, I don't know if it's necessarily going to matter too much with the Bitcoin halving happening in like 66, 65 days or something like that. And also the presidential election and the other catalysts we have upcoming for the cryptocurrency space altogether. But lower interest rates, quantitative easing would be bullish for the overall market in general, just because it's easier to borrow money, it's easier to get more money flowing throughout the economy, and overall people just have access to more money and investment money when interest rates are lower. So be on the lookout for this. Most likely next month looks like a pause. We might even see our first interest rate cut on 5/1 of 2024. So whether it's, on 5/1 or 6/12 or whenever the first cut might be, they are probably coming sometime this year. Most likely it won't be too much of a cut, but it should overall, just give people a little bit more breathing room in terms of borrowing money, and it should give a little bit more of a stimulus into the overall economy as well, which is great for risk assets like cryptocurrency. So the Bitcoin halving is slated to take place in 54 days and 13 hours from now. By the time this video gets out, I'm sure this will be 52 days, 51 days. The general consensus is the market is bullish pre-halving. The market is also bullish sometime after the halving. And the reason for that is, so in terms of overall Bitcoins that could be dumped onto the market and create sell pressure is halved, which is why the Bitcoin halving has been historically a kindling and a fire under the market's butt to have a giant bull run take place anywhere from 3 to 6 to 12 months after the Bitcoin halving. And it just so happens, and we've been discussing this on this channel for a while, the Bitcoin halving, the presidential election, quantitative easing, and the Bitcoin ETF are all taking place this year and next year. To me, this is the perfect storm for a crazy once-in-a-lifetime bull run where Bitcoin reaches 6 figures. Whether that's going to happen is completely speculation and to some degree a gamble. But I do believe as the Bitcoin halving, which is 50 plus days from now, continues to approach and get closer, we are going to continuously see the market be relatively bullish. We have seen that over the course of the past few weeks. Just looking at the market right now, $50,000 Bitcoin. If you had told me Bitcoin was going to reach $50,000 in, February, halfway through February of 2024, I would have been like, no, that's probably not the case. I have always said I thought the market was going to be bullish on the second half of the year of 2024. And it just so happens that things are starting to happen a little bit more quickly than I would have guessed. This could just be, post Bitcoin ETF approval, or a lot of that money's flowing into those ETFs, which is forcing these giant funds like BlackRock, Fidelity to buy Bitcoins on the market to make sure that they have the amount of money that's in the ETF and the Bitcoins to match that. It could also be the relative excitement for this Bitcoin halving that's coming up, which people know historically creates a bull run. So once again, guys, not the time to be AFK. Now is the time to be plugged in. Join Discords like mine that gives you access to all the best whitelist raffles, as well as the best pre-sale and early round investment opportunities, because that's going to be, besides holding spot bags of some of these cryptos I mentioned in this video, is going to be one of the best opportunities presented to you in this lifetime, in my opinion. None of this is financial advice, but I am in the market. I would say 60 to 70% of my overall portfolio is in cryptocurrency. I have about 25 to 30% cash reserves just as a hedge against, cryptocurrency nuking 50% from here. But overall, I'm bullish. I'm in the market, and I am gambling on this fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of the altcoins underneath it are going to be continuously bullish throughout this year and next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, 3 spots available for my Discord in the description below right now. It will be capped at 100 members, and we are approaching that cap very quickly. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys in the very next one. Peace.